Good afternoon, everyone. Shall I start?
Uh, Hello, hi everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back. We are just out of this break right now. With us, we have Mr. Avinash Kumar. He is an MTech from IIT Kharagpur and is a faculty at the Aakash Institutes. Sir, we can now begin the session.
Okay. So, as ma'am has already introduced about P, let me brief the session. Actually, this session is all about maximizing performance in JEE Main January 2024 session. So, this session is all about how to maximize our, score in chemistry. Especially, I'm a teacher of chemistry. I teach all three parts: organic, physical, as well as inorganic. So basically, this session is how to, attempt what not to attempt, what to attempt, how to score the maximum in JEE Main. As we know, we have almost 25 questions in chemistry in JEE Main. And 25 questions, if we bifurcate these 25 questions in three parts, so we have three parts. अगर इन three parts में हम देखें तो the first part is basically very easy questions, easy question. Every student should attempt those questions. Like 25 में से अगर मैं तीन पार्ट में बांट दूं तो 8 क्वेश्चंस, 8 अगर आप ऑन एन एवरेज पकड़ ले तो वी हैव 8 क्वेश्चंस. बच्चे ध्यान से सुनेंगे इस चीज को क्योंकि अभी आपको एग्जाम देनी है और एग्जाम में आपको परफॉर्म करने हैं तो डेफिनेटली परफॉर्मेंस के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी होता है क्योंकि अभी तक आपने ऑलरेडी सारे सिलेबस खत्म कर चुके होंगे. तो अभी हमारा जो जनवरी में सेशन है उस सेशन में आप किस तरीके से अपने पोटेंशियल को मैक्सिमाइज कर सकते हो. एंड एज यू नो केमिस्ट्री इज आरडीएस. आरडीएस मीन्स रैंक डिटरमिनिंग सब्जेक्ट. सो बेसिकली केमिस्ट्री पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखें तो हमें केमिस्ट्री में कितना टाइम स्पेंड करना चाहिए अपार्ट फ्रॉम फिजिक्स एंड मैथमेटिक्स, क्योंकि केमिस्ट्री जो एक सब्जेक्ट है विच इज बेसिकली थियोरेटिकल सब्जेक्ट एंड वी हैव फिजिकल केमिस्ट्री इन विच कैलकुलेशंस आर देयर, तो उसमें थोड़ा सा टाइम लग सकता है. तो जैसा कि मैं कह रहा था कि हमारे पास तीन सेक्शंस है, 8 क्वेश्चंस, ऑलमोस्ट 8 to 9 क्वेश्चंस दैट वी हैव वेरी इजी क्वेश्चंस जो स्टूडेंट को हमेशा अटेम्प्ट करना चाहिए. एंड द नेक्स्ट 8 क्वेश्चन जो कि मॉडरेट रहते हैं और नेक्स्ट जो लास्ट 8 to 9 अगर पकड़ ले तो वो डिफिकल्ट रहते हैं. तो हमें एनी हाउ डिफिकल्ट पार्ट को छोड़ के तो फर्स्ट टू सेक्शन वी शुड अटेम्प्ट. और फर्स्ट टू सेक्शन में ही अगर आपने अच्छा स्कोर कर दिया तो आपकी जो स्कोर है आप मान के चलें कि 66% आपका अटेम्प्ट हो गया. और अगर आपने डिफिकल्ट सेक्शन में भी 2 और 3 क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट करते हैं तो यू कैन अटेम्प्ट ऑलमोस्ट मोर देन 20+. और दो 20+ में अगर आप एक्यूरेसी अगर बात करें एक्यूरेसी की तो एक्यूरेसी अगर 10% अगर आपका एरर आ रहा है, 10% आपके मिस्टेक्स हो रहे हैं, दैट इज एक्सेप्टेबल. 10 to 20%, 20% से अगर ज्यादा होता है, सपोज यू आर अटेम्प्टिंग 10 क्वेश्चन और 10 में से अगर आपके 9 क्वेश्चन सही हो रहे हैं, ठीक है, दैट्स ओके, मतलब आप यू आर हाईली एक्यूरेट. कॉम्परेटिव पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से अगर हम बात करें तो 20 में से 2 क्वेश्चन हो रहे हैं, 20% तक चलेगा. अगर 20% से ज्यादा आप मिस्टेक कर रहे हो, लाइक दोज हु आर अटेम्प्टिंग 20 क्वेश्चन, आप उसमें से 7 क्वेश्चन, 8 क्वेश्चन, ऐसे 10 क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो तो हाईली इनएक्यूरेट. और जेई मेन इज बेसिकली स्पीड एंड एक्यूरेसी का गेम है. जितना आप फोकस करेंगे स्पीड पे एंड एक्यूरेसी पे, एक्यूरेसी मीन्स आपको हमेशा अटेम्प्ट करना है. इफ यू डोंट नो द क्वेश्चंस सो लीव दैट क्वेश्चंस. आपको उन क्वेश्चंस पे फोकस करना है जो क्वेश्चंस आपको आ रहे हैं. समटाइम इट हैपेंस कि आपको आपने गलत क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट कर लिए एंड उसमें बहुत सारा टाइम आपने वेस्ट कर दिया और उसके जगह पे इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट क्वेश्चन अगर आपने एक दो क्वेश्चंस वैसे अटेम्प्ट किए थे जो स्कोरिंग होते. तो हमारा जो पर्पस है इस सेशन का कि हम किस तरीके से क्वेश्चंस को अटेम्प्ट करें. और देखेंगे कि केमिस्ट्री में अगर लास्ट ईयर के रिस्पेक्ट में अगर बात करें तो कई सारे जो चैप्टर्स हैं वो चैप्टर्स कौन कौन से पोर्शन पे हमें थोड़ा ज़्यादा फोकस करना चाहिए और कौन से चैप्टर्स को हमें ज़्यादा फोकस नहीं करना चाहिए, उनको हम स्किप भी कर सकते हैं। और दूसरी चीज़ें हम देखेंगे कि सिलेबस भी, कुछ सिलेबस ऐसे हैं जो ऑलरेडी डिलीट हो चुके हैं। तो डेफिनेटली हम इन सब पोर्शन पे फोकस करेंगे। तो वी आर कमिंग टू दैट पॉइंट। तो पहले सबसे पहले हम देखेंगे जो हाई एंड मीडियम प्रायोरिटी टॉपिक्स, जिनको कि हमें जब भी क्वेश्चन सेलेक्ट करते हैं तो हमें कौन से जो चैप्टर्स हैं उन पे ज़्यादा फोकस करना चाहिए और कौन से ऐसे पोर्शंस हैं, चलो ठीक है, इनको सबसे लास्ट में करना चाहिए। क्योंकि केमिस्ट्री में अगर बात करेंगे तो हमारे पास ऑलमोस्ट 11th एंड 12th मिला के वी हैव ऑलमोस्ट 31 चैप्टर्स। अगर अभी डिलीटेड पोर्शन को हटा के बात करें, डिलीटेड पोर्शन अगर हटा देंगे तो हमारे पास ऑलमोस्ट 10 चैप्टर्स, अप्रोक्सीमेट 10 चैप्टर्स हटा दे उसमें तो हमारे पास ऑलमोस्ट 21 चैप्टर्स हैं। उन चैप्टर्स में हमें देखना है कि किसका वेटेज ज़्यादा है, हमें उन पे ज़्यादा फोकस करना चाहिए। और उनमें से हम देखेंगे कि कौन कौन से क्वेश्चंस हैं, कौन कौन से चैप्टर के क्वेश्चन हम इजीली निकाल सकते हैं। क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली आप स्कोर अगर नहीं होंगे तो फिर कोई मतलब नहीं बनता कि आपका, और टाइम लिमिटेड है, उस टाइम लिमिटेड में हमें कैसे अटेम्प्ट करना चाहिए। तो सबसे पहले मैं आपको एक बार दिखाऊं कि कौन कौन से जो चैप्टर्स हैं वो चैप्टर से किस किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, और उन चैप्टर में से हमें देखना है कि कौन कौन से प्रायोरिटी बेस पे हमें अटेम्प्ट करना चाहिए। Is it visible to everyone?
I,
Ma'am, is it visible?
sir, have you changed your screen or is it, if you can clarify that?
Yes. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, now we're there. Definitely, yes. Thank you.
So you can see this is इनमें कुछ ग्रीन कलर के हैं एंड वी हैव रेड कलर्स. So green color is basically high priority topics and the red color is basically medium priority topics. तो अगर हम बेसिकली बात करें, सबसे फर्स्ट चैप्टर वी हैव स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एटम. सो स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एटम में अगर हम बात करें तो ऑलमोस्ट हमें किस किस पे फोकस करना चाहिए, लाइक क्वांटम मैकेनिकल मॉडल. Like quantum mechanical model include everything like we write configurations and the quantum numbers, basically how to find out quantum numbers of electrons of any atoms. So there are certain rules, like we have all four principal quantum numbers, we should focus on that. Or every year one questions comes from quantum मैकेनिकल मॉडल. सिमिलरली हमारे पास बोर्स एटॉमिक मॉडल है जिन पे रेडियस पे या वेलोसिटी पे आते हैं क्वेश्चंस, या फिर आप बात कर लें एनर्जी पे तो हमें फार्मूला बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, इनको याद रखना चाहिए. बोहर्स मॉडल्स के जो कैलकुलेशंस हैं, खास करके जो स्पेक्ट्रम्स वगैरह हैं, दैट यू शुड रिमेंबर, उनके फॉर्मूले आपको पता होना चाहिए. सिमिलर वे में हमारे पास यू कैन सी, हमारे पास मूल कॉन्सेप्ट है. मूल कॉन्सेप्ट में जो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं वो बेसिकली कंसंट्रेशन टर्म्स पे ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. इंटर कन्वर्जन लाइक परसेंट डब्ल्यू बाई डब्ल्यू है, वी हैव परसेंट डब्ल्यू बाई वी, मोलरिटी मोलरिटी. सो हाउ टू कन्वर्ट ईच एवरी टर्म, किसको आप एक टर्म से दूसरे टर्म में कैसे कन्वर्ट करेंगे, देयर आर फॉर्मूलेज और जो बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट हैं दैट यू शुड रिमेंबर. सिमिलरली स्टोचियोमेट्री है, स्टोचियोमेट्रिक कैलकुलेशंस हैं जो रिएक्शंस बेस्ड आते हैं, जिसमें हम किसी तरीके से, आप ऐसा बोल सकते हो कि यू कैन इंटर रिलेट reactants as well as product in terms of mass as well as in terms of volume, in terms of mass and volume both. So ये टॉपिक्स पे हमें फोकस ज़्यादा करना है. सिमिलर वे में वी हैव क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ एलिमेंट्स, वी हैव द पीरियडिक प्रॉपर्टीज, इसमें पीरियडिक ट्रेंड पे ज़्यादा फोकस करना है क्योंकि ये हाई प्रायोरिटी वाले टॉपिक्स हैं। केमिकल बॉन्डिंग में हमें मॉलिक्यूलर ऑर्बिटल थ्योरी है, जिसमें हम बॉन्ड ऑर्डर फाइंड करते हैं, मैग्नेटिक बिहेवियर फाइंड आउट करते हैं, बॉन्ड लेंथ कंपेयर करते हैं। सो वी शुड फोकस ऑन मॉलिक्यूलर ऑर्बिटल थ्योरी, हाइब्रिडाइजेशन, हाउ टू फाइंड हाइब्रिडाइजेशन, शेप ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल्स। सिमिलरली VSEPR थ्योरी भी हम देखेंगे, इसके बेसिस पे भी काफी क्वेश्चंस आते हैं। बॉन्ड पैरामीटर्स लाइक बॉन्ड लेंथ, बॉन्ड एनर्जी, बॉन्ड ऑर्डर, दीज थिंग्स, इन पे फोकस हमें करना चाहिए। स्टेट्स ऑफ मैटर का ऑलरेडी पार्ट जो है उसका हटा दिया गया है, तो हमें बेसिकली आइडियल गैस इक्वेशंस का थोड़ा सा बेसिक क्योंकि लगता है, PV इज इक्वल टू NRT, लाइक उसी को मॉडिफाई करके मोल्स को कैसे हम कंपेयर करते हैं, अलग अलग तरीके से निकालते हैं। ये हमने सम बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ केमिस्ट्री में भी पढ़ रखा है। बट यहाँ पे आइडियल गैस के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखेंगे कि गैस के लिए हम कैसे मोल्स कैलकुलेट करते हैं, बिकॉज गैस इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ प्रेशर एंड टेम्परेचर। So to know the gas, you should know the all the parameters of gas like pressure, volume, temperature, etc. Similarly, we have the thermodynamics. Thermodynamics the most important chapter, और स्पेशली इससे एक क्वेश्चंस रहते ही हैं, तो हमें स्पेशली फोकस करना है फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स पे। और फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स का ही एक्सटेंडेड आपका इंथैल्पी चेंज वगैरह जो रिएक्शंस है।
Avinash sir,
हाँ हाँ,
sir, can you like zoom this a bit? It's we
ओके
can.
ओके
It's very small. The font size is very small for us. Yes, now it's visible. Thank you.
So in thermodynamics, we will focus on enthalpy change of the reaction, like thermochemistry. This comes under thermochemistry, like for a reaction, how to calculate enthalpy change, how to calculate, internal energy, like we measure in bomb calorimetry. तो यहाँ पे हम इन सब चीजों के ऊपर फोकस करेंगे। सिमिलरली फिर द सेकेंड लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स, जिसके अंदर हम स्पॉन्टेनिटी कैसे निकालते हैं, कोई भी प्रोसेस है या फॉर अ रिएक्शन, हाउ वी डिटरमाइन कि कोई भी रिएक्शन से स्पॉन्टेनियस है या नॉन स्पॉन्टेनियस है, तो इस पे क्वेश्चन ज्यादा आते हैं। तो हमें मेनली जो खास करके ग्रीन वाले टॉपिक्स, ग्रीन जो कर रखा है उस पे फोकस ज्यादा करना है, उनसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस आते हैं। सिमिलर वे में इक्विलिब्रियम है, इक्विलिब्रियम के अंदर बेसिकली दो पार्ट्स आते हैं, केमिकल एंड आयनिक। तो आपको आयनिक पे ज्यादा फोकस करना चाहिए क्योंकि आयनिक से ज्यादा वेटेज क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं। और खास करके केमिकल के अंदर हमारे पास जो क्वेश्चंस रहते हैं वो थोड़े सिंपल रहते हैं, तो वो इजिली बच्चे कर पाते हैं। लाइक KP एंड KC के रिलेशंस होते होंगे, दोज हु आर अपियरिंग, आपको पता होगा कि KP और KC का एक रिलेशन होता है, KP इज इक्वल टू KC RT रेज टू पावर डेल्टा NG। इस पे बेस्ड कई दफा क्वेश्चंस आते हैं। ली चैटलर प्रिंसिपल, इस पे फोकस हमें करना चाहिए। और जो इक्विलिब्रियम है, खास करके जहाँ पे हम डिग्री ऑफ डिसोसिएशन वगैरह निकालते हैं, एंड दैट कम्स अंडर होमोजीनियस। इक्विलिब्रियम के दो पार्ट हैं, होमोजीनियस एंड हेट्रोजीनियस। तो मोस्टली क्वेश्चंस होमोजीनियस से आते हैं, हेट्रोजीनियस से कम क्वेश्चंस आते हैं। द पीएच स्केल, यू शुड फोकस ऑन हाउ टू कैलकुलेट पीएच ऑफ, बेसिकली we have different kind of solutions. Normal weak acid, pH of weak acid, we calculate. We calculate pH of strong acid, mixture of acid. There are different types of mixture, and we calculate pH. So mostly pH में जो क्वेश्चंस आते हैं उस पे आपको बफर सॉल्यूशंस पे थोड़ा सा फोकस करना है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे बफर सॉल्यूशन को थोड़ा सा रेड में कर रखा है, लेकिन नाउ अडेज दे आस्क क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम बफर सॉल्यूशन, तो आपको इस पे फोकस करना है। हाइड्रोलिसिस ऑफ सॉल्ट डायरेक्टली नहीं पूछते, they usually mix the weak acid and strong base, and then you have to find out the pH of solution. इस पे में आपसे पूछ सकते हैं क्वेश्चन।
Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
हाँ, यस।
Uh, s- Sir, actually, we have students attending from the South Hyderabad region of NBS
ओके
and
ओके।
Bhopal region also of the North, as well as we have some students from other regions. So we have a request from schools to, also explain the topics in English if you can, sir. We have a request from schools.
I will keep in mind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Please continue.
Okay, the next chapter we have redox reaction. So redox reaction redox reaction in which we calculate the oxidation number and the concept of oxidation number. So we should focus on oxidation number as well as the balancing redox reactions. The third topic we focus on basically titration. So titration, we have different kind of titration. The first is volumetric titration, and then second is redox titration. And we have double titration, but that is not part of syllabus. So we should not focus on double titration. Similar way, we come to the chapter number 9, which is the organic chemistry and some basic principle technique. So for in this chapter, we should focus on quantitative analysis, like we calculate the percentage of carbon, hydrogen, and other elements in organic compounds. So how we calculate, we have different methods, and we should focus on quantitative and qualitative analysis both. So quantitatively, we can calculate. We have different tests to like living methods, like we have cupric oxide tests to calculate to determine carbon and hydrogen. Similar way, we should focus on isomerism. So we have different kind of isomerism. So we should especially focus on structural isomerism as well as stereoisomerism. And then we have methods of purifications like chromatography, fractional distillations, sublimations. So we should go through NCRT, and these are basically theoretical part and practical chemistry part. So definitely you should have done practicals in schools. And then aromaticity, that is most weighted topic. Like we have Hakel's rule. So from Hakel's rule, we determine basically which compound is aromatic and which cannot be aromatic. So for non-aromatic, we have different set of conditions. For aromatic, we have different conditions. So we should focus on these four topics. And then we come to the chapter number 10, hydrocarbon. So hydrocarbons, in hydrocarbon, as per NCRT, we have alkynes, alkanes, and then aromatic hydrocarbon. So basically, in hydrocarbon, we should focus on additions reactions, substitution reactions, and then we have eliminations reactions and electrophilic aromatic substitution. So there are many questions comes from this chapters. So in every shift you will get a questions from hydrocarbon. तो आपको इस पे भी फोकस करना है. And next is environmental chemistry. So environmental chemistry, you should focus on water pollutions uh, like we have standard conditions for drinking water, like lead should be this, lead should be in this range, like different metals should be in this range, like nitrate, sulfate, and every year components have some limitations, and beyond this there will be side effect for, there will be different effects. Similarly, we should focus on atmospheric pollutions. And the next we have hydrogen. Hydrogen is basically deleted portion. So basically, we should focus on hydrogen peroxide. Similar ways, S block is basically eliminated. So for J main, we should not focus on S block. Similarly, solid state, this is eliminated from the J mains. Solution, we should focus on colligative properties. We have all four colligative property: elevation and boiling point, depression and freezing point, osmotic pressure, and relative lowering basically of vapor pressure. So we should focus on all four colligative properties as well as Van 't Hoff factor. So when we add electrolytes or some substance that basically dissociate or associate in solvent, so that shows different colligative properties. So we introduce Van 't Hoff factor. Similarly, we have the most weighted topic, electrochemistry. So in electrochemistry, we should focus on last equation, that is very important, and then thermodynamic relations of cell, like how to delta Z E relationship, and then electrolysis. Faraday's, we have two laws, first law and second law. So basically, the questions come from first law mostly, and then the conductivity, like you should know how to calculate molar conductivity, and the relation between molar conductivity and limiting molar conductivity called Ross law. There are different aspects of conductivity. And the next chemical kinetics, that is very simplest chapters, and student find very easy because this is somehow related with mathematics. So we should focus on first order, basically zero order and first order reactions is the part of syllabus, and second order is not our part of syllabus. So we have integrated rate equations basically for zero order and first order. So we should focus on these rate equations, and then factors that affect chemical reaction, rate of a chemical reactions, different parameters like temperature. The most important part is how the Arrhenius equation, how the rate constant is related with temperature, and how the collision parameters. That is very important. The next we have surface chemistry, which is basically eliminated deleted portions. So we should not focus on surface chemistry. And then P block is basically in P block, you should focus on periodic properties, not on compounds. So for P block, you should focus on oxides of nitrogen and group 17 elements in which, there are different properties. So you should read those portions. You should stick to those portions. And next we have D and F block elements. The DNA block elements, the properties, there are many variations in DNA block. So you should focus on, density trend. We have electrode potential data. So you should focus on these things. And basically, we have two compounds, potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. You should focus on these two compounds. So questions comes from these two compounds. Similarly, coordination compound, it is a very interesting chapter. तो हमें इस पे भी फोकस करना है. We have Werner's theory was a very old, he was father of coordination chemistry, and how he explained primary valency and secondary valency, and then isomerism in coordination compound. So basically, questions comes from isomerism every time, one or two questions in every shift. You will get questions from isomerism, especially the structural part. And then we have principle of qualitative analysis. So basically, different kind of radicals. We have acid radical, basic radical. So we have almost 13 cations, 11 or 12 cations. So done in practical chemistry. So they ask about the detection of some cations. So you should basically focus on basic radical. Similarly, the metallurgy, general principle and isolations, uh, ये chapter basically eliminate हो चुका है. So we should not focus on this chapter. The next is haloalkanes and haloarenes. So we should focus on substitution reactions as well as elimination reactions. Similarly, next we have alcohols, phenols and ether. So यहाँ पे we will focus on properties of alcohol and properties of phenols. Ether is very small. There are only two or three reactions like Williamson's ether synthesis, and then hydrolysis and reactions of ethers with HI. So you can go through easily. Very few questions that comes from ether. So mostly questions comes from either alcohol or phenol. Similarly, the most weighted topic, which is aldehyde ketones and carboxylic acid. So we should focus on aldehyde ketone. This is the very big chapter. So basically, we should read carefully, and we have different majority of name and reactions like aldol, canizaro, Perkin reactions. There are different reactions, and all reactions are mechanism based. So basically, this chapter is very, so we should focus on this chapter because two or three questions come from aldehyde ketones and carboxylic acid. So these are the highlighted topics. You should focus on these topics. Similarly, we have amines. So amines is a very simple chapter. So we should focus on chemical reactions like how amine reacts with different reagents. And then diazonium salt is very important. How diazonium salt is prepared and what are different aspects of diazonium. So diazonium is very intermediate, basically reaction intermediate, you can say, compound. From there you can get different kind of products, like we can make chlorobenzene, bromobenzene, iodobenzene, different type of reaction. We should focus on preparation of amines, how to prepare amines from different, like cyanide, amide, different reactants. And then we have biomolecules. In biomolecules we will focus on carbohydrates, especially disaccharides. Like we have three disaccharides in ncrt, so you should focus on all three: maltose, then we have sucrose, and then lactose. Similarly, polymers and chemistry and everyday life is eliminated. So you should not focus on. So these are the basically important topics, and इस पे हमें focus करना चाहिए. Okay, the next thing will come to okay. Next, we will see the what are the changes in the JEE main syllabus. Well, screen is visible. Sangeeta ma'am, is it
Uh,
visible?
I think the link is showing, sir. The PDF is not visible yet.
Okay.
See the icon only.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, 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 very much. It is visible.
Let me zoom in.
Yeah, please zoom in, sir.
So you see, these are basically we have you 17 chapters in which some of chapters are deleted, some of the chapters are removed. Like you can see states of matter, this was deleted. Similarly, we have hydrogen, this is deleted. S block elements, this is another topic from 11, another chapter from 11 which is deleted. Next, we have environmental chemistry. So this one is also deleted. So four chapters from the first page, and then we have solid state, surface chemistry, and then metallurgy, and then polymers and biomolecules is already in the syllabus. The chemistry in everyday life is deleted. So you can see you have almost, as per NCRT, you will see, as per NCRT, the total chapters, you can see the 14 and plus 17, as we said earlier. So total 31 chapter. Out of 31 chapter, so basically 9 chapter is deleted. So you can see the 4 chapters from 11 and the 5 chapter from 12. And P block. In P block, compounds are eliminated, deleted. Like we have to focus on only like periodic trend, properties, only properties. So we should not focus on the compounds and preparation of compounds like nitric acid, we have sulfuric acid. We should not read out those topics. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं. Now we'll see a few questions that is very important and how to attempt these questions. Okay, so coming to question part, so we will see like the first question. Is it visible to everyone? Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
So am I audible to everyone?
Yes, yes, sir, you're audible.
So we can
Yes, sir.
see.
You are audible.
Okay. So any questions from student? Any questions regarding chemistry syllabus and the important topics? Any query? Any query? Anyways, so we have very first question. It is assertion and region type. So how to solve these kind of questions? So so if you have to solve these type of questions, so first assertion and then put because. Assertion because of the region. And first you check assertion and then second you check region. If both are correct, so we have four options. So first the option, sometime options ऐसा रहता है कि ए बी सी इनको भी शिफ्ट वगैरह कर देते हैं एटली हमें इन पे भी फोकस करना चाहिए लाइक वी हैव असर्शन Cu2 प्लस बेसिकली cupric ion in water is more stable than cuprous ion. So as you know, Cu2 plus we have 3D9 configurations and Cu plus is 3D10 configuration. But the hydration enthalpy, the hydration depends on the size. Basically, small size cations have high hydration energy. So Cu2 plus definitely have high hydration energy, and because hydration energy always stabilizes the cations as well as anion. So Cu2 plus molecules, Cu2 plus ions has high amount of hydration energy. Because of that, Cu2 plus is more stable than Cu plus. So we can say the assertion is correct. And now we'll come to region. So enthalpy of hydration for Cu2 plus is much less than that of Cu plus. So directly you can see and say this is the incorrect one. So we have four options like first option, both A and R are correct. R is correct explanation. So R is not, in fact, R is not correct. So we'll go to the options. Which option should be correct? Any student, can you answer? Any student? Any student?
Students, would you like to answer? You can unmute yourself. You can also put it in the chat box.
Any student, please. So C is the right answer. So definitely, as I explained, Cu2 plus has high amount of hydration energy because of the small size, and small size cations have high, basically, ion dipole interaction. And because of this ion dipole interaction always leads to the release of energy, and hydration energy is a released energy. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have an answer from JNV Chhindwara. It says C. A is correct, but R is not correct.
Okay, very nice. Now we'll come to the another questions. So this is the basically solutions is given. Okay, the next we have question the complex cation. As we were saying in the coordination chemistry, the questions always comes from isomerism. So let me ask, can you tell me which cation has two isomers? Can you answer? Anyone? कोई बच्चा है जो आंसर कर सकता है? Any student? Anyone? Anyone? So you see, we have questions. Yes, ma'am.
So JNB Prakasam says option C.
Okay, option C. Can you explain? Can anyone explain why C? Can anyone explain why C? Why could not A, B, and D?
Unmute yourself. Students, we request you to unmute yourself and explain. Let this session be a little more participative.
Anyone? Okay. You see, we have different, this is all four complexes have six coordination number, and six coordination number complexes always show octahedral geometry. Octahedral geometry. So we have first, and you should focus on the ligand. What kind of ligand we have? In first, we have ammonia as a ligand and chlorine as a ligand. So this is a type of Ma5B complex. Similarly, we have second, which have Ma6 type of complex. The third, we have Ma5B complex. But in C option, you can see NO2 minus, which is a ambidentate ligand. So it can donate, and ligand is basically this species which can donate lone pair to central atom through coordinate bond. So NO2 either can donate through N nitrogen or through oxygen. So there is two possibility in which NO2 can donate, NO2 minus can donate electron pair through nitrogen, either nitrogen or through oxygen. So this compound can show two possible structure, in which the first structure in which NO2 can donate through nitrogen, in second structure NO2 can donate through oxygen. So basically the name will be different, and these two are basically linkage isomerism. अगर आपने पढ़ रखे होंगे तो definitely थोड़ा दिमाग में होगा कि we have linkage isomerism. Linkage isomerism basically arises due to the presence of ambidentate ligand. So basically in C options we have ambidentate ligand. Okay, the next questions. So this is answer, and these all questions are P by Q, previous year questions. So that is already okay. The question number 3. So question number 3 is organic chemistry questions, and basically this is the chapter based on alkyne. Can anyone answer this question? Can anyone? Anyone? Any student? Any student? Question number 3. Sangeeta ma'am.
Yes, sir. Please tell me.
Can any student answer this question?
Yes, we are trying to encourage the students to answer the question. I believe there is some problem with their audio facility, but
Okay.
they are attending the class, as we can see from their photographs being posted to us.
Okay. Okay, student can communicate through their teachers. No problem.
Yes, sir. We would like to ask the teachers to please encourage your students to come over to the mic and answer the questions. Or teachers, even you can just write down the answers in the chat box or just speak on the mic. Any response to this particular question from any of those students? You can just come over to the mic and just say your answer. It can be right, wrong, no problem in that. Sir is there to clarify your doubt.
Okay, anyone? Okay, let me explain. The reactant is basically 2-butene, you can see, and in first, In left side, we are taking reagent sodium and liquid ammonia. This is a Beers reduction. I think you are aware of this reaction. In Beers reaction, the transalkene is formed. So in B, the product is trans 2-butene. While in the left side, palletized charcoal is taken plus hydrogen is taken. So basically, this is a Lindelar catalyst. So basically, charcoal is basically activated charcoal is taken, and with it is poisoned with sulfur or quinoline, which basically reduces the activity of palladium. So in A, cis-2-butene is formed. So basically, A is cis-2-butene and B is trans-2-butene. So what should be the relation between A and B? Anyone? Cis and trans isomers. So they are basically symmetrical isomers. Symmetrical isomers. So A is basically cis-2-butene and B is trans-2-butene. So यहाँ से हम conclusion निकाल सकते हैं. So we have different options. Now we'll see the options. The A is more soluble than B, and there is printing typo error. So A is basically more soluble than B. What do you say? Is this option is correct or incorrect? Any student? So answer basically product is known. A, as I say, A is cis-2-butene and B is trans-2-butene. So what A should be correct or incorrect? The first, A is more soluble than B. So any chemistry teacher can also answer. Anyone? Okay, Vishwadeep sir,
Yeah, student, please participate.
anyone?
Any student have a query, please ask to sir. Any student.
Sir, we have a response from JNV Karaikal. They have chosen the option D.
Option B.
D as in Delhi. The
Okay.
last option, yes.
It is poisoned with sulfur or quinine, which basically reduces the activity of palladium. Okay, so let me verify the answer. And A is more soluble. As you know, cis form is more polar than trans form. Cis and trans isomers. So they are basically symmetrical isomers. Symmetrical isomers. So A is basically Yam Simte. Can you mute yourself? तो यहाँ से हम conclusion निकाल सकते हैं. So we have different options. Now we'll see the options. The A is more. Okay. So A is more soluble or B is more? A is cis form. Cis is more polar than trans. So that's why A is more soluble than B. The first A is correct one. And now come to B options. The boiling point and melting point. As you know, the boiling point depends on basically intermolecular force of attraction. The cis is more polar, so cis will have more boiling point, and trans is more symmetrical, so that's why trans has more melting point. सो बॉइलिंग पॉइंट एंड मेल्टिंग पॉइंट ऑफ ए दोनों में ऑर्डर डिफरेंट रहेगा. सो आप देखो लो बॉइलिंग पॉइंट की बात करें. सो बॉइलिंग पॉइंट ऑफ ए इज मोर देन द बी, while the melting point of B is more than the A. So B is not the right answer. So come to the C options. A is more polar. Definitely A is cis form, so A is more polar. And B, because dipole moment of A is zero. No, the dipole moment of basically B is trans and trans has zero dipole moment. So A is more polar than B. So can we say A is more polar than B because dipole moment of A is zero. So dipole moment of B is zero. So C is not the correct one. Now come to D option. Br2 adds easily to B than A. So no, that is not possible because both cis and trans, the bromine can easily add on both B as well as A. सो व्हाट आर द इनकरेक्ट ऑप्शन. सो यहाँ पे बेसिकली हमें फोकस करना है कि दे आर आस्किंग द इनकरेक्ट स्टेटमेंट. सो व्हाट कुड बी द आंसर? कैन एनीवन आंसर आफ्टर After the clarifications, anyone? Anyone? Which are the incorrect statements? What are the incorrect statement among A, B, C, D? Anyone? Hey, Preeti ma'am.
Yes,
Preeti ma'am,
students, if you have
can
a
you
query,
encourage
please
student to
ask to
answer?
Avinash sir. If you have any query, please ask to Avinash sir. Please participate, student.
So what could be the answer? So as I said, B, C, D, both are basically incorrect one. Both are incorrect one. The
Yes,
A
we
is
have
only
JLV Chinwada saying the same. Option B is the
option B. No, you see, the boiling point depends on the polarity. Like more polar substance, like more dipole moment substance have more boiling point because the interaction, because they have high intermolecular force of attraction. So A has more boiling point. While the melting point depends on the symmetry, crystal lattice energy. So B is more symmetrical, trans is more symmetrical. So boiling point and melting point of A are higher and lower than B. The boiling point of A is higher, while melting point different. Okay. Now we have another question which is based on organic chemistry. So, student, please read out the questions and answer this question. So, every student go through this question and answer. Hurry up. So, we have an organic compound A, which has molecular formula C4H11N, and that shows optical activity, and that gives nitrogen gas on treatment with HNO2 nitrous acid. The compound A reacts with basically benzene sulfonyl chloride, producing a compound which is soluble in KOH. The structure of A. What could be the structure of A? So information is given, and from these informations, so predict the structure. Can you predict the structure? Anyone? So this is very simple. First, you have to select the options which is optically active. So which compound is from among the A, B, C, D? Which one is optically active? Any student? Which one is optically active? How to check optical activity? So there should be some chiral center, and that chiral center, if we have chiral center, the compound may be optically active. So can you tell me which we have chiral center? Anyone? कोई बच्चा बता सकता है? So Zainvi Mandla, can you answer? Anyone? So first option is basically optically inactive. The second option is optically inactive. The third one is also optically inactive. The fourth one we have chiral center. So the carbon from which NS2 group is attached, which is chiral center. So definitely यहीं से हम reject करके we can answer. And the second is basically Hinsberg reagent, and we say the 1 degree amine only give Hinsberg test. So from there we can answer this question. The answer would be the D1. Any doubts? Now come to question number this one. So we have
we
questions.
have a question. Can you repeat, sir, please, like how we have this option D?
Okay.
Last one.
Okay. You see, the first question is asking the compound A should be optically active. So in first option, you can see the nitrogen is having, there is no chiral carbon. So first options, the first compound cannot be optically active. The second options, there is no carbon which is optically active, as well as the nitrogen, the 3-degree amines or the amines, due to amine inversion, the compound is optically inactive. So C options. In C option, there is no chiral center, so there is no optical activity. In D options, we have the second carbon. If you name the compound, so this is butane 2 amine. So the carbon number 2, from which you can see that one NH2 group is attached, another is ethyl, and another is methyl, and there is hydrogen. So basically, four different groups are attached to the carbon number 2. So this carbon is basically chiral center. So from there, we can say this compound can show optical activity. It can show either, you know, dextrorotatory or levorotatory. The second thing, the only 1-degree amine that gives nitrogen gas with HNO2. So in these four options, we have the first one is basically 2-degree amine, and the second one is 3-degree amine, and the third and fourth option we have 1-degree amine. So these two compounds can give nitrogen gas with HNO2. Okay, so we can reject the third one. And there is another information: the compound A reacts with pH SO2Cl. This is benzene sulfuride chloride, and that produces a compound which is soluble in KOH. So this is Hinsberg test, and Hinsberg test is given by 1-degree amine only. So basically, C and D both can give Hinsberg test, but D options, the D one is only optically active. So from there, we can reject all A, B, C three options, and D would be the right one. So understood? Do I explain again? Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have another question, next question. How many of the transformations given below would result in aromatic amines? So again, this is questions of organic chemistry and the nitrogen based, amines or amide based question. So can anyone answer this question? Hurry up. So first one, the if you look at the first reaction, this is benzamide, or we can say benzene carboxamide. And when we treat with Br2 and NaOH, this reagent basically Hoffman bromide degradation reaction. So from there you can form aniline. From there you can form aniline, and aniline is basically aromatic amine. So first one should be the right one. Now we'll go to the second options. The second option is basically phthalimide, basically potassium phthalimide. And potassium phthalimide is basically a strong, you can say, is a nucleophile. It is not a strong nucleophile. It is simply nucleophile because the lone pair of nitrogen is delocalized, and so it could not be a strong nucleophile. It is a basically mild nucleophile. And the chlorobenzene, the reagent that you are taking is chlorobenzene, and chlorobenzene does not undergo nucleophilic substitution under normal conditions because the chlorine can show partial double bond character, and chlorine can show resonance and it has partial double bond character, and because of that nitrogen cannot replace chlorine. So basically this will not be productive reaction, so B could not be the answer. And now come to C. What could be the answer?
We
C.
have option A from
Or
Nandini RR, from PM Shri JNV Karaikal, A and D.
A and D.
Hmm.
So can you explain why could be the D and
A and C also.
A and C?
There are three answers. We have A and C, option A and A and D. They're giving you an options now.
Okay. So why D? So this one is basically C options. NO2 So this is nitrobenzene, and we have hydrogen palletized charcoal. So if charcoal is not taken, then NO2 can be reduced to easily NH2. Okay, so hydrogen palletized charcoal is basically active charcoal activated the activity of palladium. So basically nitrobenzene can easily be converted into aniline. And the third D options, what could be the right region of D? You know, we have NHCOCH3 and you are taking dilute H2SO4. So what will do? This is a amide and dilute H2SO4 will do hydrolysis. So from hydrolysis of you can get the aniline. So how many of the transformations? So A could be possible, C could be possible, and D could be possible. B, why B is not possible? Because the chlorine has, partial chlorine will make, double bond character with carbon. And double bond, a double bond substitution would not be possible. Okay. Next we have, it is based on atomic structure. A very simple questions. Very easy questions. Can anyone answer this question? Any student? Any student? Please answer this question. What is the meaning of radial node? The question is asking the wave function of a wave function basically psi. Psi represent the wave function. It is basically a wave function has no physical significance. Basically, it represents an orbital. Basically, you can determine the probability of finding electron from the wave function. So psi has no physical significance, but psi square is basically probability of finding electron. So radial node is basically the place or zone where probability of finding electron is zero. So how would you determine radial node? So radial node is basically psi square, and psi square should be zero because the probability of finding should be zero radially. So from the nucleus, at which distance? So they are asking at r is equal to r naught, radial node is formed. So r naught could be, what could be the answer? So what we have to do? We have to do psi square and psi square must be zero. So this function, do squaring of this function and make it equal to zero. And then solve this and find the value of r in terms of a naught. So what should be the answer? Anyone? Anyone? It is a very simple question, and many a times these kind of questions comes in JEE main. And this is P by Q. So already a questions आ चुका है. तो any student, please. Anyone? Anyone? Matrai ma'am. Anyone? Darshani ma'am. Priti ma'am. NBS sir. वो कौन?
Sir, A answer is received from Darshini.
Okay.
Yeah.
So A is the right answer. Very right. Because when you square the function and make it equal to 0, so as you know, we have some constant 1 by root 2 pi and 1 by a naught. Squaring this cannot be 0, and is e raised to power something which cannot be 0. So basically 2 minus r upon a naught squaring, that could be 0, and so from there you can get r is equal to 2 a naught. So it is a very simple question, and every student should attempt these kind of questions. So a would be the right answer. Okay. The next question is based on basically coordination chemistry, and this is based on the predicting the structure. And so read out the questions and answer this question. Anyone? Sorry. Anyone?
Yes, student, tell me the answer.
Students from JNV Churachandpur, can you see the question on the screen? We cannot hear you. You just raise your hand and say yes.
Anyone? Does anyone?
Great, 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 great. So, can you answer? Try answering this question.
Hey, ma'am. When BS go for.
Sir, A answer is C from Darshini.
Okay.
Yeah.
So A is the right answer. Very right. Because when you square the function and make it equal to 0, so as you know, we have some constant 1 by root 2 pi and 1 by a naught. Squaring this cannot be 0, and is e raised to power something which cannot be 0. So basically 2 minus r upon a naught squaring, that could be 0, and so from there you can get r is equal to 2 a naught. So it is a very simple question, and every student should attempt this kind of question. So E will be the right answer. Okay, so we have a question 1 liter of
The next question is
0.02
based
m
on basically coordination chemistry. And that's
solution.
based on the predicting the structure. So read out the question.
Okay, any answer? Any answer for this question? Anyways, so we have a compound CONH3 whole 5 SO4. This is a complex compound, we can say coordination compound. And this complex compound is treated with, the solution is divided into two parts. And we treat with excess of AgNO3 and BaCl2. So when 1 liter of solution X plus AgNO3 excess, the Y is obtained. Okay. And then 1 liter solution of X plus BaCl2 solution, the Z is obtained. So the number of moles of an YZ. So, when we treat AgNO3 with Br minus, the precipitate of AgBr is obtained. And when we treat the sulfate ion with BaCl2, BaSO4 white PPT of BaSO4 is obtained. So from there you can get the concept. So, when excess AgNO3 is passed, the only compound CONH3 whole 5, or you can say the pentaamine sulfate, or you can say sulfito, cobalt, bromide, that will react with AgNO3. And the second, that one that is having sulfate ion, which will react with BaCl2. The first one that will react with the first solution in which AgNO3 is treated. So that will only react with bromide. And second, that will only react with sulfate. So this one is the concept. On the basis of this, you can attempt this question. Copy simple questions. I think all of you have understood the concept behind this question. And this kind of questions comes in JEE Mains as well as sometimes comes in JEE Advanced. So first you get the millimoles, or you can say the moles of first compound as well as second compound. So first compound, the millimole, how to get millimoles? Basically, molarity into volume. So when we take volume in liter, you will get millimole, and when we take volume in liter, you will get moles. So here volume is given in liter. So you just calculate moles of first compound as well as moles of second compound. So both are having same number of moles. The first compound is having 0.02 mole, and second compound is having 0.02 moles. So both compounds having 0.02. You see, this बोल रखा है questions में, the resulting solution means we have 2 liter solution and you are dividing it into two equal parts. So that means both contains half of moles. Means the first, when you divide these two, so solution X equal parts X. So X contains 0.01 mole of first compound as well as 0.01 mole of second compound. So when we treat AgNO3 with solution X, so you will get AgBr. So 0.01 mole is obtained. 0.01 mole of AgBr is obtained in case of first. In second case, what you will obtain? You will obtain BaSO4. So 1 liter of solution that contains 0.01 mole of CONH3 whole 5 BrSO4. So that will react with BaCl2 and it will give BaSO4. So definitely you can obtain 0.01 mole of each. So Y also contains the moles of Y is 0.01 as well as moles of Z is also 0.01. So this is a very simple question and this is selective reaction and you can say selective precipitation reactions हो रहे हैं यहाँ पे. So AgNO3 selectively react with the complex having outside Br minus ion and BaCl2 will selectively react with the complex having outside sulfate ion. So from there you can get the result. Okay, is it understood to everyone? The answer would be the B1, which is 0.1, 0. Okay, now we have very simple questions from the chemical bonding and it is based on VSEPR theory. So can anyone answer? I think everyone can answer, every student. So hurry up, read out the questions and tell me the answer. Any answer? Come on, response. No. Huh? Chat box. Which one? Which, which one is your answer? B. All right, let's go for B. Computer G lock किया जाए. B. All right. Huh? It is on. It is on. It is on. It's not B. All right. Okay, Jane B. With Jane B is answering this question.
Sir, JNV Chhindwara.
Okay. Jane B. Raipur, any another answer? List one, this one is the matrix match type of question. So in list one, we have different kind of species. In list two, we have to find out basically how many lone pair of electron on central atom. So we I have 7. So either you can draw the structure or we can say the iodine has 7 valence electron and all valence electrons are utilized in 7 bonding. So IF7 does not have any lone pair of electrons. So definitely A would be matched with 4. A would be matched with 4. From there, यहाँ से भी हम reject कर सकते हैं. We can reject two options B and C, A and C cannot be the answer. So B and D. And now we'll go to the another options. So I'm just telling how to solve. If you know only 2 or 3 answer, from there you can also get the answer. So ICl4 minus. So ICl4 minus basically iodine is having 7 unpaired electron, 7 valence electron, and due to negative charge, it will having 8 electrons. And chlorine, so 4 electron will be utilized in the bonding, and rest 4 electron will be in the form of lone pair. So in second, we have 2 lone pairs. So definitely B would be matched with third. So from there, you can choose the answer. So D would be the right, but again we have to check for C and D. For XeF6, as you know, xenon is having 8 outermost electrons. So 6 electrons will be utilized in bonding and 2 electron will be remaining with xenon. And that 2 electron will be in the form of lone pair. So one lone pair will be there with XeF6. So C would be having answer 1. So C would be matched with 2. And then we have XeF2. Again, xenon is having 8 valence electron and 2 electron will be utilized in bonding with fluorine. And then 6 electron, rest 6 electron will be in the form of pair. So 3 lone pair. तो आंसर वुड बी डी, डी वाला सही आंसर होगा. सो आप मैच करवा सकते हैं एंड समटाइम एक भी मैच से हमें पता चल जाता है, तो डेफिनेटली आप इस चीजों से भी इसको फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो. सो यहाँ पे डी आपका राइट आंसर है. एंड नाउ वी हैव अनदर क्वेश्चन व्हिच इज बेस्ड ऑन thermodynamics.
Avinash, sir, sorry to interrupt you. We have exceeded our time, so I request you to wrap in like in the next most using the most important and one or
Okay.
two questions.
Yeah,
Thank
okay.
you.
Sure, ma'am. Okay, I am taking the last question. The question is based on the qualitative analysis. We have compound that will give positive Lassend test for both nitrogen and halogen. So can anyone answer this question? The first option is basically CS3NH2 dot HCl, and the second is NH2OH dot HCl, and the third we have NH4Cl, and the fourth is N2H4 and HCl. Anyone? Well, Lassend test is basically used for the detection of different compounds present in hydrocarbon. So directly you can answer these questions like B, C, and D. These three options does not have any carbon. So these three compounds are not organic compound, and the A option is only organic compound. So from there you can answer this question. So it is a very simple question. Definitely you should read out, and I will say all the best to everyone and do well in exam. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Avinash, sir. Thank you to
Thank you,
the
ma'am.
entire Akash Institute's team. I would like to call upon Sir Duman Siamte sir from JNV Churchandpur. Sir, please switch on your camera and mic and give a vote of thanks. Avinash, sir, you can stop sharing the screen.
Okay.
Hello, dear students. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So, thank you very much for this opportunity. Even though we are, our time is quite consistent and moreover, it's challenging. We are very fortunate and happy and pleased that the Aakash Educational Service Limited has spared us a very valuable time for Vigyan Jyoti program. And firstly, I would like to thank Sir Abhishek Shet, the Assistant Director, Aakash Educational Services Limited, for such a valuable time for especially for IIT JEE aspirants. And secondly, I would like to thank to Sir Avinash Kumar Goyal, a faculty from Aakash. Again, thank you very much, sir, for your valuable time. And I would also like to thank to those attendees, all the students around the CD from several JNVs. I would also like to thank for your cooperation. And also, I would also like to thank all the teacher coordinators who joined this session. And I would also like to thank the American Indian Foundation for such a very big opportunity for the nation. And lastly, but not least, I also like to thank Vigyan Jyoti team, the headquarter team, as well as the regional office team. Thank you so much for your um, support, for your valuable time, for building the nation, and all these efforts will definitely pay off in the near future because these students are the building block of our nation. So I hope that this coming examination also will be fruitful and the Vigyan Jyoti scholar will sign uh, and will make our nation proud. And thank you very much to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. That's my time. Thank you.
Thank you